Have you ever actually stopped to think how that sandwich you had for lunch turns into the energy you're using right now? Well, in this explainer, we're going to take a journey through your body's most incredible factory, the digestive system. We're breaking it all down, literally, from the very first bite to the final stop.
But let's kick things off with a question. Imagine a perfect slice of pizza. Why can't your body just, soak it up? Why do we need this massive, complicated system running right through our middle? The answer really comes down to two things: size and solubility. See, the food we eat, all the carbs, proteins, and fats, is made of these giant, complex molecules. They're way too big, and they're also insoluble, meaning they can't dissolve in our blood. They just can't pass through the walls of our gut and get into our bloodstream where we need them.
So that gives the digestive system one critical mission: to be a super efficient disassembly line. It has to take those massive food molecules and break them down into tiny, soluble building blocks that our body can finally absorb and put to use for energy, growth, and repair. All right, let's follow the food and see exactly how this happens.
So here's our game plan. We'll look at the main mission, then the first stops in the mouth and stomach. After that, we hit the enzyme factory where the real magic happens. Then the absorption superhighway, and finally, the end of the line.
First things first, let's lock in the mission. The whole digestive system is basically built to do just two things. If you get these two processes, honestly, everything else just falls into place. It's a really simple 1-2 punch. Step 1 is digestion. You break it all down. Step 2 is absorption. You take it all in. That's it. Every single part of the system we're about to look at is designed to help with one of those two jobs.
Okay, let's actually follow that piece of food on its journey, starting right at the entrance, the mouth. So the journey kicks off the second that food passes your lips. And this is not just some waiting room, okay? Digestion starts immediately, both physically and chemically.
So in the mouth, there's a two-pronged attack happening. First, you've got mechanical digestion. That's your teeth chewing and grinding the food up. This is so important because it massively increases the surface area. At the exact same time, chemical digestion starts. Your salivary glands release saliva, and that saliva contains a special enzyme called amylase. Amylase gets to work straight away, breaking down the starch in your food into smaller sugars. Once you swallow, that chewed-up food travels down a muscular tube called the esophagus. A series of muscle contractions, kind of like a wave, pushes it down until it lands in the stomach. Now, the stomach is way more than just a holding bag. It's an active, powerful mixer, and it has three key jobs. First, its muscular walls churn everything up, continuing that mechanical breakdown. But its main job is chemical. It releases a protease enzyme called pepsin, which starts to break down proteins. And to help pepsin out, the stomach also produces strong hydrochloric acid. This acid is amazing. It kills most of the harmful bacteria you might have swallowed, and it creates the perfect acidic conditions that pepsin needs to work properly.
After a few hours, the food is now a soupy liquid. The stomach then squirts this into the small intestine. And this is where the main event of chemical digestion really kicks off.
But the small intestine doesn't work alone, oh no. It gets a ton of help from two really important friends, the liver and the pancreas. So the first helper substance is called bile. Bile is made in the liver and then stored in the gallbladder before it gets released into the small intestine. And it has two vital jobs. First, it's an alkali, so it neutralizes all that strong stomach acid. This is crucial because the enzymes here need alkaline conditions. Second, it emulsifies fats. The best way to think about this is like washing up liquid attacking grease. It breaks big blobs of fat into thousands of tiny droplets, which gives the next wave of enzymes a huge surface area to work on. Okay, now for the main attack. The pancreas and the wall of the small intestine produce a whole cocktail of enzymes to finish the job. This table right here is revision gold, seriously. You've got amylases to finish breaking down carbohydrates into simple sugars like glucose. You've got proteases to finish breaking down proteins into their building blocks, amino acids. And you have lipases to attack those fats, breaking them down into fatty acids and glycerol. At this point, our food is fully disassembled. So now that all our food is broken down into these small, useful molecules, glucose, amino acids, all that good stuff, the mission changes. We're done with digestion. Now it's all about absorption. So how does the small intestine get all these nutrients into our blood so well? Well, the secret is its internal structure. If you could zoom right in, you'd see its surface isn't smooth at all. It's covered in millions and millions of these tiny finger-like projections called villi.
And these aren't just random bumps. Each one of these villi is like a perfectly designed absorption machine. They're adapted in 3 key ways to get those nutrients from your gut into your blood as fast as humanly possible. Let's take a look. First, all those folds and millions of villi create an absolutely massive surface area. Seriously, if you could flatten out the inside of your small intestine, it would cover an entire tennis court. All that space means you can absorb nutrients much, much faster. Second, the wall of each villus is incredibly thin. We're talking just one single cell thick. This means there's a really short distance for those food molecules to travel to get into the bloodstream. Super quick, super easy. And third, each villus has this dense network of blood capillaries right underneath the surface. This constant blood flow is like a conveyor belt, whisking the nutrients away as soon as they get absorbed. And this is vital because it keeps the concentration of nutrients in the blood low, so more nutrients keep wanting to move across from the gut into the blood. So all the useful stuff is now in the blood, heading off around the body. But what about the things we can't digest, like fiber? Well, that's where we enter the final stages of the journey. All the leftovers, which is mostly just water and indigestible fiber, move into the large intestine. Its main job isn't digestion, it's water recovery. It absorbs most of that excess water, turning the waste into a solid mass called feces. The feces are then stored in the rectum before being removed from the body through the anus, a process we call egestion.
And there you have it. The journey is complete. Those tiny molecules of glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids are now zooming through your bloodstream. They're ready to be used for energy or as the building blocks for new cells, new proteins, new you. The lunch you ate has literally become a part of you. So the next time you eat, just take a second to think about that incredible process. What will your body build with your lunch today?